Today we stand at the crossroads of innovation and progress, a transformative gathering of world leaders, policymakers, entrepreneurs, innovators who are discussing Africa's future. It was a very revealing and impactful session as we had Her Majesty Olori Atuwashe III giving the call to action for Africans to begin to own their own stories and their own narratives. Today, I will be exploring what's next for Africa as I speak with inspiring individuals, business CEOs, participants, entrepreneurs who are leading the charge for Africa's growth. Stay with me as I find out how these amazing minds are making it happen. I am Precious Waimi Ogolaja, and this is Worry Sentinel.
In the heart of Nigeria's capital, Abuja, history was made as the inaugural Elevate Africa conference brought together global leaders, innovators, and change makers. Over 2 days, these thought leaders engaged in intense conversations, all aimed at shaping the future of Africa. With the theme, The Africa We See, the conference sought to address the pressing challenges of sustainable development on the continent. Dignitaries and stakeholders from around the world converged at the Shehu Musa Yaradua Center to share ideas, exchange perspectives, and propose lasting solutions. Leading the charge was Her Majesty Olori Atuwashe III, Queen Consort of Warri Kingdom, with a powerful call to action for Africans to take ownership of their destiny and foster the changes needed to elevate the continent.
Our job is just to create the right conditions to make it happen by telling the right stories. Because when people begin to see what is possible through hearing it, they begin to understand and it triggers a reaction.
In the powerful address, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, represented by the wife of the Vice President, Hajia Nana Kashim Shettima, emphasized the need for Africa to create a new narrative, one built on hope, resilience, and progress.
Africa is a blessed continent. From her rich vegetation to her beautiful landscape, abundant natural and human resources, her diversity and culture, and so much more.
Elevate Africa is helping to foster a dignified, empowered, and a collaborative Africa.
Breakout sessions led by leadership coach Fela Durotoye and APC National Youth Leader Dayo Israel Adelabu further ignited conversations around leadership and the empowerment of Africa's youth.
I believe that finally a generation is arising that has the right platform to come together and speak, like I said, with one voice.
These sessions delved into actionable strategies to harness Africa's vast potential. As the event concluded, a sense of optimism filled the air. The conversation started here will ripples across the continent, inspiring new initiatives and partnerships focused on elevating Africa to greater heights.
We need to tell the stories of Africa innovation, stories of African entrepreneurs.
So we have to work together. Elevate Africa, you have to include the diaspora.
They are buying all the music, they are buying the publishing, they are taking all our intellectual property. So the real conversation is how do we keep our intellectual property in Africa?
That I wish for my continent is for us not to go outside and be finding Western validation. Narrative is changing. It's not us chasing them to do something for us. Now it's them wanting to come and actually work with us.
I've learned a lot. It's been really inspiring. I'm so glad I made it.
The reality of Africa is here and the narratives are down here. So we need to close that gap. We also need to elevate the realities in Africa at the same time while we close that gap. And we at the Chandler Foundation believe that improving social and economic conditions have to be based on a foundation of good governance. So that's why we support leaders and governments on the continent who have made that demonstrated commitment to good governance.
It's been 2 days of impact, great conversation, networking, collaboration, sparking conversations about Africa's future. Africa is rising. It's a call to action. It's a mandate to begin to tell our own stories and own our own narrative. From us here at Warri Sentinel, we say thank you so much for joining us. See you next year at another Elevate Africa conference.